So your character in the movie goes through depression and boredom, and he seems to be kind of angry at being immortal and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's something that, well, not being immortal and not eating people, but that's some of stuff that a lot of women go through. So I was wondering if you have any advice for how the character went through it and how you got through it and how some of the girls can go through it as well.
That sounds kind of sort of like a three-part question. Okay. Jack, the character in He Never Died, he is immortal. He cannot die. And if you could never have to think about death as part of your life, eventually you will die. For a minute there, it might be really, really cool. Like, wow, I'll never die. I'm going to eat a lot of pizza. But you know, after a week, that's boring. And so he's had hundreds of years to get over anything he wanted to do. And he's witnessed who knows how much horror, plague, devastating wars, just awful, you know. And so at this point, he's seen too much. He is clinically depressed. He knows too much. There's no one to talk to about it. Hi, I've never died. I've been around for centuries. Do you believe me? Oh, I'm crazy? There's no one for him to talk to. He's the onlyest person in the world. He's not even human. He's got nobody. Anyway, in a normal sense, I think we all have felt that kind of isolation where we feel so unique, not in a good way, but we feel our depression, our insecurities, our vulnerabilities are such that there is no one who will understand us. There is no one we want to call and say, hey, come over, let me come over. So you start talking to the trees. You go for walks in parks. Well, you know what? The birds will be my friends. They get me. They don't judge me. And we humans, we're very complex, vulnerable, dynamic creatures. We can get extremely lonely, sad. Our brains can turn on us. And you can be a rational person on Tuesday and Wednesday be damn near suicidal. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a thinking person, and sometimes your thoughts turn around and get you. And so I've gone through a life of that. As a little kid, I asked my mom, I go, what? I feel really bad. She goes, honey, that's depression. It's been with me since about age 5, where it is a factor in my life. Like, well, I'm not going to get that done today. I just don't have the wherewithal to go do it. Or if I do, I have to push myself so hard because nothing in me wants to get that done. I just want to sit in a corner. And if I never saw another person again, that'd probably be just fine. I don't hate people. I don't always mix well with them because of the depression and the isolation that I feel. Hence, all the books, all the records, all the shows. I'm trying to medicate that. At least I don't do it with vodka. And so I think in a lot of societies, and I will say this after hearing this from many women I've talked to in my life, that being a woman, we guys can't understand what that's like. I can relate to you as a female on the human level, on a professional level, on a biological level. In that I took biology, I kind of sort of know how your parts work and how they differ from mine. But on an emotional level, the daily misogyny women go through in video games, music, day to day. You know, what if I said, oh, hi, honey? What if I called you honey? What an insult. Where I might not even think it's an insult. Like, why is she getting so angry? Like, you called her honey, man. What's up with that? What are you talking about? What is up with that? What's your problem? You, me. And so I think a lot of men, due to whatever factors, can become incredibly unaware or uncaring to the daily misogyny that they perpetrate every day. And they don't necessarily mean it, but they do it. And one time a very beautiful woman, a friend of mine, she's a model, she's one of those like ridiculously staggering creatures. I said, so you're a pretty lady. That must be pretty cool. She said, yeah, it's cool until guys walk up to you on the subway and say, I can't repeat the stuff that's been said to her. Like, well, I bet I'm not good enough. And like, you know, violence, like threats. to the beauty, where it looks like the pretty bird in the forest. Look at that bright bird. Oh yeah, what's your first name? Let's kill it. You know, the most brightly cut feathered bird in the forest, the first one killed. So girls, women have parts. Men like them. But that affection and that desire for all of that stuff turns to anger, hatred, and potential humiliation as fast, like that. To where, like, I really like you. You don't like me, you bitch, you blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, it's an assault. It's called date rape. And the girl gets raped on campus. She goes to the powers that be, and they go, oh, honey, your skirt was too short. You were asking for it. Who in the hell asks to be assaulted? Answer, no one. And so, to be succinct, in my opinion, women have to swallow, bottle, and walk around with more rage and more like, hi, than any man ever has to do. Because if some guy walks by and looks at me and goes, hey honey, my initial instinct is like, stop, come here, because I need to break that nose. And I'm not that guy, but men don't do that. That's fighting words. If I do that to a woman and she gets mad, I'd be like, excuse me? Why are you getting mad at me? I complimented you. Hey honey, nice ass is not a compliment. And so men need to evolve, and you wonder why we haven't just evolved. Like, done, lost the gills and the twitching tail. I don't know if there's ever going to be progress on that front, in that we've had centuries to get this together. I would like to think in our time, since I've been a young man, I'm an old man now, things have gotten better. I saw things getting better with punk rock. The Washington, D.C. scene I come from, super egalitarian. There's a girl in a band, so we never thought anything of it. There's the gay guy in the band. So that's my friend Gene. No one cares if you're a girl or you're gay or you're this or you're that. Just be in the band and shut up already. Let's get to work. I think there's more of that. I see in music scenes more than ever. And I think music has had a great role in breaking those barriers down. But there can't be enough of that because we still have problems. But the bottom line, men have no idea what women go through. And I can say that just from getting so much mail, so many women saying, hey, you wrote a thing, but you're a little wrong-headed, so I'm a woman, I'm going to break it down for you and school you. And I take the lesson. I go, wow, whoops, didn't mean any harm. Well, you didn't mean any harm, but you're a little harmful. So watch that. I'm like, got it, lesson learned. And so for many of us, it's a process of evolution. And when women speak, you should listen, because they're not messing around. And when they say they're being, they were insulted, it's not a woman on a bad day. It's a woman saying, hey man, you gotta pull the bugs out of your ears and check us. We're trying to talk to you, like your mama tried to talk to you. And this is what I've learned from voulez-vouing with women for decades, at shows in the world, wherever. And I would say to a woman feeling put upon or feeling unequal, all I can say is, I'm sorry. Try and find the right men to hang around with. And I can't exactly apologize for my gender, but I will say, just to save you a lot of time, a lot of us are incredible jerks and we'll never get it together. And you have to watch out because some of them are really horrible.